Hi, I'm Andrew Berry and welcome to At the Bench and welcome to another product review. The item I'm reviewing today is from Pepe Tools and it's a tube cutter. All will be revealed. It's a device for cutting tubes, but cutting tubes to the correct length and also making sure that when you cut through the tube that you don't deform the tube, and also cuts the tube so the ends are lovely straight and there's no filing to get the face of it at 90 degrees to the body. Let me show you. So it's basically a handheld device. This is the handle and this is the measuring and cutting device upon the top here. It's got this slide rule here that goes in and out. There's millimeter calibrations on the rod here, and this would be the stop. For instance, if I want to cut a tube at 20 millimeters, I'll bring the rule down here to 20, or to 2 in this instance. There's a little nut on the side here that I would turn to tighten that up. Now I've got a piece of tube here, and I'll just quickly show you how it's all going to work. You flip the handle over, you rest the tube into the V-shaped groove that we've got here. Okay, so no matter what size tube you got, it'll always rest neatly in the V groove there. You push the tube out, so the tube actually comes and touches the end of the stop here. You pull over this little handle here, and that clamps the tube in place. When you put it on your bench peg, it can rest quite nicely. You put your thumb over the top and that clamps the tube. You don't squeeze it, because yes, you will deform your tube, but you just push it down just to hold that tube in place like that. If you look closely as well, you've got another groove here. And this groove is where you pass your saw blade and you would that straight down. And that will ensure that you get a perfectly straight cut every single time. Let me show you. So we pass our blade through. Like that. And take our saw out. And there is a 20 millimeter piece of tubing. Exactly right. The face of it is absolutely perpendicular to the rest of the tube. This is the other piece of tube that is in the device. And the tube is in lovely condition again. The face of it here is lovely and flat. There's no dent to the tube at all. The device can cut lengths of tube. In fact, it doesn't even have to be tube. It could be wire, it could be round wire, square wire, triangular wire, oval wire, whatever shape you want. And it'll repeatedly cut the same length. You can even come up to 13 centimeters in length here. That's huge. And you can repeatedly cut the same piece, the same length wire, time after time. And the advantage is you can do it quickly. You pass it through, clamp it, cut. Move it up. Next piece along, clamp it and cut. So it's going to be exactly the same amount of tubes every single time with no or virtually no cleaning up to do on the ends, because you can be sure that that face on the end of the tube will be perpendicular to the rest of the tube. So if you've got a project that calls for a lot of tubing, a lot of wire, repeatedly cut for the same length, this particular tool is going to be worth its weight in gold. But it's not a cheap tool, so it's not something that you would buy on an impulse. I would buy this particular device if I was making, as I said, perhaps a lot of tubing where all the knuckles have to be exactly the same length. What I wouldn't want to do is get my dividers and mark off a length of tube and then saw each one, checking the face to make sure it's completely flat, making sure that it's all the right length, filing it, because that is going to take an awful long time, and that would be time that's wasted. If you use the Pepe tube cutter, you can be sure that your length of wire or tubing is the right length every single time with the minimum amount of cleaning up. I'm Andrew Berry for At the Bench. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye bye.